Welcome back to the For Real Movie Club. We are on to our second film here, Mission Impossible 2. I'd like to make a correction from the last video. Shaun Walker didn't hate the Avengers. He hated Guardians of the Galaxy, so hate him even more because that movie made more money than the Avengers. So, moving on with billions of dollars. Billions of dollars. Thankfully, gross national. I should know this. We did a For Real Movie Club on it.
Well, to be fair, the only Marvel film I actually did like was The Incredible Hulk, the Edward Norton one.
What? Oh God. He breaks
And
my
the
heart.
first Iron Man film.
Okay, that's fine. But, oh God. Mission Impossible 2 is a 2000 American action spy film directed by John Woo! and starring Tom Cruise, who also served as the film's producer. It is the sequel to Brian De Palma's 96 Mission Impossible film, which if you've not listened to the For Real Movie Club we had just previously did in the video before, go back and listen to it before you listen to this because it's not going to make sense when we're talking to you. Duh. So, Mission Impossible 2 has Cruise reprising his role as Agent Ethan Hunt of the IMF, a top-secret espionage, and that's what it does. I can't say that word. The film is the second installment of the franchise and was followed by the third one, which came out in 2006, and we'll be talking about next. Initial thoughts, Tony Mango.
All right, now when I first watched Mission Impossible 2, it was in theaters, and I had still kind of like, I was into the James Bond series, but I was still kind of fresh into it. I was, young, kind of. 2000, I was what, middle school? Yeah. So that was something where, like, I kind of went into it expecting James Bond, and I thought that it was a little bit cheesier, and I didn't like it as much. But rewatching it all this time around and stuff, I gotta say, compared to Mission Impossible 1, massive upgrade in a lot of different ways, especially the visuals. Like, holy shit, it's only a couple years later, and they've gone from these, like, tapes to something where you've got, like, it seems like it's in 2000, and the action's a lot better. It's a lot more digestible, I guess, but it kind of dumbs itself down, so it's sort of like a give and take. And I think if I were to watch any of these movies and just kind of like put it on, Mission Impossible 2 might be the one that I would put on, because it's kind of, it's kind of dumb and whatever like that, but it's an easier film to watch, and yeah, I like it overall.
Shaun, what were your initial thoughts on Mission Impossible 2?
That Tom Cruise looks better with long hair.
Yo, this is ridiculous. I have this note from watching this. I literally have a note that says, Tom Cruise is handsome as fuck. Because it's like, you're watching that opening scene and you're just like, that's a good looking guy.
He is a good looking guy with long hair. For sure, he looks like a dweeb. Yes, he looks, I don't know, rugged.
I was thinking the same thing while looking at the movie poster. I'm like, Jesus, he looks good with good long hair. It's like, do I look like that? I hope I look like that. I'm Tom Cruise. Go ahead.
You do look like that one.
Was that the initial thought? Yeah, you're like, Jesus Christ, this guy's smoking hot.
Shaun's watching it the whole time and he's just swooning.
Pretty much, yeah. And the opening scene was pretty badass on the cliffside when they like drag racing. That was pretty cool. Though I think I saw that on James Bond.
Yeah, that's another note that I wrote down here. The GoldenEye parallels for this movie are ridiculous. That car chase is exactly the goddamn same. And you even have, like, GoldenEye's got 006 becomes a villain. Well, this becomes basically like 006 to Ethan Hunt becomes a villain. And then Bond, they took the knock list thing from the first film and Skyfall, so they're kind of even, I guess.
And Tom Cruise is pretty good at rock climbing. If that was Tom Cruise. It was probably a body double. The gadgets were a lot cooler in this film as well.
I just thought you were going to compliment Tom Cruise the entire time.
well, Tom Cruise has got that little tush,
Other cast...
a lot better as well. And the plot was a little bit better.
Other cast members besides Tom Cruise as Ethan Hunt saw Doug Ray Scott, stupid name, as Shaun Ambrose, Thandie Newton. Where do they find these people? Jesus. Ving Rhames returns as Luther Stickle. Richard Roxburgh as Hugh Stamp. Ronald, German last name, is John Thompson, with a really American last name. John Paulson is Billy Bard. Brendan Gleeson as John C. McCloy, Anthony Hopkins as Mission Commander Swanbeck, and other people. If you're looking at the same cast list as I am, Tony, you know why I stopped.
You're not going to try Raid?
I'll say Raid. Whatever the... Is there a mark? Is that my computer screen? No, there's a mark above the S. I don't even know what the fuck that means.
Rade, maybe?
But do you see the mark above the S?
I do like how he's got two different names according to IMDb, though. He's either Sir Bedji something or Sherbegia.
See, Sherbegia is how we Americanized it.
Give me his character's name.
Why didn't you say Anthony Hopkins? I always thought you were on about the chef. My bad.
Chef?
Yeah, there's a chef in the UK called Anthony Hopkins. My bad.
Huh. Does he eat people like Anthony Hopkins?
No, but apparently Anthony Hopkins is Welsh. Who knew?
You can't take everything, damn it! So, Sean, what did you think of the cast?
I think it's fucking fantastic as a Welshman in
it. Well, Tandy
Tony,
Newton.
what were your thoughts on the cast?
Tandy Newton's from London, and Dougray Scott's what, Australian or something?
Oh, it's Dougray?
No, Dougray Scott I think might be Welsh too. Or maybe he's Scottish. I don't know. He's something. He's not American.
Damn it, Sean.
Some funny things about the casting side of things. Tandy Newton, I think it's Tandy. I don't know, shit. She was cast before the movie was, like, finished writing. And I think that it was, I'm drawing a blank on her name. Nicole Kidman. I think she suggested her. Which is a little bit weird if that's the case. If she was just kind of like, hey, husband, you know who you should bang in this movie? Good old Newton.
Wait, Tom Cruise was married to Nicole Kidman?
Yeah.
I missed this.
That's like why the whole film Eyes Wide Shut exists.
I kind of missed it. I thought he was married to, what's the name? Penelope. Was that a different cruise?
That's a different cruise.
Different cruise.
They did bang in Vanilla Sky, though. So, Dougray Scott, though, the reason why he isn't Wolverine is because of this movie. He was originally cast as Wolverine, and the shooting on this one went on too long, so they needed to replace him, and thank God they did, because we got Hugh Jackman.
Oh, Jackman.
Bet you he's punching himself in the nards.
Right? He's sitting there going, God damn it, I was that guy in Mission Impossible 2. Like,
now you're in Taken 3 as a steward. Just look at his IMDb real quick.
Anthony Hopkins is awesome, though. I love the idea that he's kind of like in charge. And, you know, if he was going to be like M in the Bond films, I'd buy it, because Anthony Hopkins is awesome. And Newton's hot, so they kept that going on, and Tom Cruise, even hotter than she is. Ving Rhames coming back, that's awesome. He's like one of the best characters in this whole franchise, so that was cool. Dougray Scott is the only good villain of the whole thing, though. Like, all the other villains are so kind of just blah. Even the guy, I think it's Stamp, which is kind of funny because even one of the Bond films has Stamper. It's like, they just really kind of were like, let's just do Bond stuff. But even Stamp is just kind of like, that's your big henchman, is this guy who, like, is missing part of his finger. You know, like,
Do you feel that, we'll start with you, Tony, that the sequel, like, obviously this has turned into a major franchise now, but do you feel that the sequel was justified based on the way Mission Impossible 1 was received?
Well, what did you say that it was? It cost $80 million and it made $400 million?
447.
By that rationale, I'd be like, yeah, shit, we gotta do a movie. Like, and it's something that's built off of a franchise, too. Like, they've already had the TV series, so it's kind of, like, built in that you could get 3 movies at the very least out of it. I'm kind of surprised that they're doing their 5th movie, and obviously they're more than likely going to do a 6th one. But Mission Impossible 2, I like how they changed things up in a sequel instead of just cashing in and doing the exact same thing as the other one, because then it would have just been boring. Makes sense.
Sean, do you feel that the sequel was justified? Did you fall asleep?
I did fall asleep in the sequel, yeah. I can't remember what part I fell asleep in. I think it was around about the time when they got to the castle. Was that the part? Was that number 2?
I don't know, I wasn't watching you sleep.
no, number 2 was... I'm trying to think, yeah. I can't remember where I fell asleep. I know I fell asleep relatively early when I was trying to watch this. but I can't remember where.
The opening title sequence.
Probably not me. But I enjoy these films when they first come out. They're not the type of films I like to go back and watch.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
No, it does. Just to give you some facts about the movie, it was produced by Tom Cruise and Paula Wagner. Stories by Ronald D. Moore and Brandon Braga. Based on, of course, the TV show. Music this time was done by Hans Zimmer.
I thought it was Limp Bizkit.
They're on the side, yeah.
Well.
Cinematography by Jeffrey L. Kimball. It was distributed by Paramount Pictures. Released May 24th, 2000, with a runtime of 123 minutes, with a budget of $125 million and a box office of $546.3 million. So it cost a little bit more to make, but they got a little bit more money back. Tony, high point, low point, and a ranking 1 to 10 on Mission Impossible 2.
Side note, if you follow John Woo, which I don't follow to a T, it's not like Tarantino or something like that, but you got the John Woo touch in this movie, which is a funny thing to watch, because you can see, he loves doves. And in this movie, there's the sequence at the end where it's just kind of like, Dove City, dude, here's fucking doves. There's a shot where there's a doorway and Tom Cruise comes out, and it's just kind of this dramatic, dude, Ethan Hunt's badass, and so is this dove. It's fucking funny. But highlight of this movie, without a doubt, is the music. I love the soundtrack to this. I'm a big fan of Hans Zimmer, and actually out of I've got tons and tons of movie soundtracks in my collection that I listen to, and a lot of it's Hans Zimmer or people that sound like him, part of the remote control production crew, which I'm getting really nerdy here by saying that. But his music is friggin' beautiful in it, especially 2 tracks. Naya's theme that they play in, throughout the whole film and stuff like that, but particularly Seville is the track that everybody should listen to. That's my favorite scene of the whole film, the intro where they're doing the intro to her character, I should say, where they're doing that heist scene, and you've got the, whatever the dancers would be, they were tangoing or something like that. They're they're stomping all over the place and stuff. That song is amazing, and so is the song Injection, which plays when she shoots herself up with the virus. That is beautiful to listen to. So if you ever are I want to experience something positive about Mission Impossible 2, but I don't want to watch all the whole film and shit, because you'd rather watch GoldenEye because it's much, much better, just listen to Naya's theme, Seville, and Injection from the soundtrack, and that's good enough right there. Least favorite scene, the horse stuff. Damn, that's hard to get through. And that's, again, better done in a Bond film, A View to a Kill. And it's just that bad lull part of the film where you know where it's going to lead, but they're still just kind of dragging it out a little bit, which wasn't necessary. And apparently the original cut of this movie was over 3 hours long. So they probably had so many more scenes like that, and they're just yo, John, the fuck, man, did we really need this 40-minute sequence of doves? And he's all right. But that scene's tough to get through, and that's a huge negative, but huge positive when it comes to the music. Rating 1 to 10, I probably still would have to stick with my 6, but maybe if I was going to be a little bit more generous, I'd bump it to 6.5, because it is better than the first film.
Shaun, what was your high point, low point, and a rating 1 to 10?
My high point is Tom Cruise's hair. It just looks so much better in this. I don't care what you say.
I don't disagree.
It's so much better. And the opening car scene was pretty badass. Low point, again, this film put me to sleep. I'm sad to say. It's not my fault. They go on for too long. If it was an hour and 20 minutes, I'd be fine with it. But for some odd reason, films no longer like to be 1 hour 20 minutes.
What was your rating?
Short attention span.
What's your rating 1 to 10?
And my rating, I'd probably give this a 6 just because of Tom Cruise's hair.
You ranked the first one that you stayed awake in a 3, but this one a 6 because Tom Cruise grew out his hair.
Hmm.
Yup, I did.
It just looks so much better.
I can't wait to see your rating on the next one. You guys should tune in to the next episode, or next part of this episode of the For Real Movie Club, where we talk about Mission Impossible 3. Still couldn't think of a subtitle. Oh, bam. So go ahead, click the link, move on. 5 minutes till you die, or not. Shaun Walker will come get you. Check out the next part of the For Real Movie Club with Mission Impossible next.